Hey guys, Jake here, coming at you with a recipe for greens. You can substitute any type of greens for this recipe. You could use spinach, we're using collard greens today. You could use kale, really, it's up to your imagination. But I wanted to show this technique because there's a good way, there's a nice knife cut that we're gonna be doing called a chiffonade cut. And I don't think a lot of you guys are eating enough greens, so that's why we're doing this. Step one, we're gonna throw some olive oil in the pan here. I always just eyeball it. All right, we're going to smash up a little garlic. It's an easy way to just get the shell off of it. It's gonna go right in our garlic press, which is a must for anybody who is cooking with garlic. Let's get all the extra goodness in there. Usually, if I'm doing some kind of saute, I like to get the garlic in the olive oil for just a little bit longer to absorb a little bit more flavor. You could also put some crushed red pepper or something similar like that if you wanted a little bit of heat, which would go really nicely with this. So the chiffonade cut, we're basically just going to take, this works really well with greens because, leafy greens especially, because you're able to roll them up. Just think back to your college days of rolling up tobacco cigarettes. It's exactly the same thing, so we're going to roll that up, tobacco cigarettes. And our chiffonade cut is going to be, we're going to cut on a bias, which just means at an angle. And so I'm going to slice this up just like so. And you'll notice that I'm using the back of my knuckle here to guide the knife as I'm making these cuts. So this way I'm not in danger of cutting my fingers. All right. So if I were gonna make a vegetable stock later, I'd probably save some of those pieces, but a lot of these are gonna take a little bit too long to saute and break down. So I'm gonna start my flame over here. And one thing that you wanna be really careful of is that you do not burn the garlic, okay? Burnt garlic just tastes horrible. And I know Italians that would be very upset with you guys if you did that. So make sure not to burn the garlic. We're gonna give it a second for the pan to heat up and for the garlic to become fragrant. So when we can start smelling the garlic, when we see it start to sizzle a little bit, that's when we know it's time to go in with the collard greens and make sure that the garlic doesn't burn by putting something else. All right, my garlic's starting to get a little bit of a sizzle, so I'm gonna put the collard greens in the pan. You'll notice that this chiffonade cut has made these really nice ribbons out of the collard greens, so it's a fast way to cut the greens up, and it also looks really nice. Salt, and when you season, you always want to season from height, not just because Salt Bay does it, if you've seen the Salt Bay videos, but because it gives an even distribution of the seasoning over the food. So the bottom of the pan is starting to get a little bit dry. I'm going to put in some vegetable broth because my beautiful wife, who is a vegetarian, is filming, and I want to make sure that she can eat this. So I never cook with water. I think that it's always better to use a broth that's going to add more flavor to the food. A little bit of broth and a little bit of apple cider vinegar as well. Now, since I have a lot of the stalks of the collard greens in the pan, I'm going to put this lid on to steam a little bit and just soften those up. And you don't have to have, you can see the lid that I have doesn't completely cover the pan, but it's fine to trap enough of the moisture in there to steam those greens up a little bit. Boom, we're back. A few minutes later, our collard greens are done. How do I know they're done? Because I tasted them. This shit is good. How do I know they're seasoned correctly? Because I tasted them. Got our landing zone over here. All right, that easy. Got a serving of greens here. Get you pooping right tomorrow. Tastes good tonight. It's a win-win. All right, see you guys next time.